We are a month into the new season and we are sitting pretty in the playoff places after winning 3 of our first 4 league matches. Today we are in the second of our monthly shows here that we're going to be doing on Charlton TV throughout the season. And boy, we've got a lot coming up. We'll take a look back at each of the Addicts' 3 league wins as well as Saturday's loss to Reading. We'll take a trip down memory lane as the one and only Stevie Brownie goes bowling. Can't wait for that bit. And we'll preview the month coming up with some exciting ties both at the Valley and further afield. Yes, a warm welcome to everybody joining us around the world. It is free to air on the club's YouTube channel. Delighted to be joined at the end there by the Charlton legend that is, of course, Sir Alan Curbishley. And the 2 big stars as well of the club's new Ex-Players Association, Stevie Brown and Kevin Lisbie.
Couldn't quite make the video though, could we, Kev?
No, I did, to be fair.
No.
I was on the my third goal, Liverpool. Yeah.
No, what, that Liverpool game again?
No, yeah.
Patrick.
Yeah, I was on there. I saw that, Brady. I was on there.
Yeah, 50 yards from Bradford don't count.
He actually did say, if it's not in, I'm not going to be coming in. So he's got it.
He's always been a better negotiator than me.
Yeah,
always.
Absolutely. We had a bit of golf today, didn't we? Who wants to go first? Brownie?
Yeah, lovely golf day at the Wilderness. Russell Mears, who's obviously a sponsor of Charlton, got all the sponsors into the Wilderness, and Charlie Mefflin's team come last. He was fuming. He was angrier than Nathan after. It would have been a great interview.
Was he?
Oh, it would have been a great interview. He was, fuming. He even questioned the scoring system. Yeah. It was great.
Because we played at the London Club, didn't we?
We did, and because the invite to the Wilderness was late, and this would have been there, wouldn't we?
We would have been there.
Well, my invite came last night, so.
Oh, well then.
I'm literally just confused. I've been speaking to me and Brownie. Obviously, now we've started this Players Association. That he's always complaining about his knees, always, and then I turn up today and find out he's actually
played golf.
Played golf.
Yeah.
So just stop calling me.
I did say I've had to go through quite a bad time at home since I announced I was going to the golf day last night.
Oh yeah, so
I've lifted a finger for 4 weeks blaming the knee, and now I am going.
But is that not usual for Mrs. B anyway?
It was angrier than normal. Yeah, it was very aggressive.
I could imagine.
Yeah, very aggressive.
Hair dryer.
Yeah, I went down Sainsbury's, got some chocolate. Didn't work.
the Fergie, she's got the Fergie hairdryer. And just before we move on, you've had a good shower and you've changed all of your clothing, or was there one piece of clothing that you still have on? Because it was a very wet day today, wasn't it?
I forgot my pants. So I've had to keep. No, you got none on. For the people that want to know.
You got commando now.
Yeah. It's funny because we played golf the other day. Remember the Charlton fan that came up?
Yes.
Charlton fan came up to us and said, "Hello, you don't remember, do you?" Oh, I don't. No, not really. He said the last game at Old Trafford, your last game at Old Trafford, you borrowed my shoes.
His shoes.
Yeah, because I'd gone to the match, and I hadn't packed a pair of shoes, and Keith Peacock knew the guy, didn't he? And Keith went up to him and said, "What size are you?" He said 7. He said, "You can't let Curbs have your shoes, can you?" He ain't got no shoes.
Honestly, the guy was an absolute diehard Charlton fan. He must have lived off that for what was it, 20 years almost now.
I remembered him.
I remember the shoes.
That was like the Dave Berry chip story. He was going, Dave, sorry, mate, don't. Dave was going, yeah, but you took a chip. And he was going, nah, mate, no.
He was upset with that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No, but it's good. Final one. How is the knee, by the way? Because you had the knee op a day after our first show.
Yeah, I did. And so that's, I think, 4.5 weeks ago or something like that. And I know Jason Morgan phoned Guinness Book of World Records today, so there's a chance I could be in that for the quickest recovery to play 18 holes after a knee op. So we'll see if I pull that one off. We'll see.
You would have done if there was appearance money involved.
Oh, absolutely.
Put money into it again.
Had an 18-month contract instead of a 12-month one. Liz, I mean, it's such a feel-good factor here at the moment, isn't it? When we're going to delve into lots of things, what's happened so far, and will be coming as well. But Nathan won't be settling for just what's happened so far, will he? As we saw at the weekend.
Yeah, no, I've been here at a couple of the games that we've played, and that feeling in and around the ground. The players' reactions after the games, there's a real togetherness, and then they seem quite united in what we're doing at the moment, and they seem to be on board in terms of what the manager's asking them to do. So, yeah, good times. But as we said before, it's really early doors, so long may it continue.
Yeah. What's impressed you most, Brownie, about our start?
Resilience. I think a couple of those games have been tight, could have gone either way, and we've not conceded. You know, I thought Leighton Orient were a better side in the first 45 minutes, didn't concede. Wigan, same, didn't concede. And when you don't concede, you just need that one opportunity, which we've managed to find in both those games. I thought we were excellent, Bolton. Wasn't the case in that one. And that's the biggest difference for me. Behind the ball, out of possession, very, very hard to break down at the moment.
There is a very different feel at the moment, Curbs, isn't there? Early days, of course.
Yeah, and, you know, a difficult start. Still is, I think, the next couple of games. You know, we've got Wrexham and Birmingham coming up as well, you know. Clubs are expecting to do well. I just looked at the other thing, and not knowing the full ins and outs, but, you know, Nathan's made some big decisions this summer. And, you know, the board have backed him. You know, I'm talking about Dobson and Alfie May. You know, two players that perhaps a lot of the fans will be looking at going, well, Alfie scores 20, he's scoring already for Birmingham. And Dobbo's captain of Wrexham. You know, so that's a big call, but I understand that's how Nathan is. This is how I want to play. This is the people I need to play for me. And, you know, so if crowd favourites have got to go, they go, you know. So it's the big decisions he's made, and the board have backed him.
And in terms of this weekend as well, it's a big game against Rotherham, isn't it? It's a mouth-watering tie against, well, two of my former sides, of course, top and tail of my career. But Rotherham are one of these sides that will be looking to bounce back as well, despite they've not had the best of starts.
Yeah, they squeezed a late winner, didn't they? If my memory serves me correct, at the weekend. So they've got off and running. I'm kind of glad they did that, because if they were coming here without that win, you're thinking there's a bit of spice on that. We know there's always a bit of angst when Steve Evans in the opposite technical area, and they are one of the favourites. And I don't think he minds shouldering that, if I'm honest. I don't think that pressure bothers him in the slightest. But it may bother their team and the squad. I think that can tell sometimes, be very telling when that pressure's on. But our home form is extraordinary under Nathan. We've been very, very difficult to beat here, and I always think if you're gonna get in the top 6 or the top 2, very rarely do those guys lose 2 on the trot. Even if it's a draw, you back up with a draw. Very rarely do the top ones lose 2 on the trot. So it's a big weekend for us in that respect.
Yeah, I mean, look, he hasn't been with us for very long, Nathan Jones, but he has got that unbeaten record here at the Valley. How important is that from a playing point of view?
Yeah, Brownie spoke about the Leighton Orient game. I was here for the Leighton Orient game, and although Leighton Orient had a few half chances.
Did you walk around the whole pitch to all 4 sides and get the applause?
No, I wasn't allowed to. I had shorts on, so...
You just about got in, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. No, they've got a ticket for me now. I just took train that day. So I watched the game, and as I was saying to Brownie, they didn't look like conceding, and we don't look like conceding much at home as well, which is a good trade. And as Brownie alluded to before, we're getting late goals as well, which shows that there is a fitness to the team now, and there's a consistency. We've got a big squad with strikers coming on in the last 10-15 minutes and actually changing the game and making impacts in the game. So I think if you look at our squad, we're probably up there in terms of squad and the players that we've got available to come off the bench. So I think that's going to be quite important, and keeping them fit also.
Steve Evans is quite a character, I think it's fair to say. Come across him at all?
No, not really.
Not at all?
No. I'd like to see I'd like to see how it goes at the weekend, because he manages to upset most people.
Yeah.
And I think Nath could.
Do you remember Big Bo?
Yeah, with Lebo, yeah.
Big geezer, talking a lino. Classic Bo.
But Nath ain't shy either, so it
No.
could be an interesting one.
Yeah.
They'd probably work out their best of mates.
Maybe, or
Go on holiday.
maybe not. But in terms of that relationship that we feels like we sort of haven't really had, or not for a consistent period of time anyway, between the fans and the manager. It's here at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there's a feel-good factor at the moment at the club, and you know, although we got done at Reading, it's a decent start. I don't think about starts till we've done about 8 games, to be fair. I know people look at when you get to the international break or whatever, window closes, etc. But you know, 8 games, and you know, we've played teams that are, all intents and purposes, are Premier League clubs. And, you know, so they've been big games. They, like the Wigans and the Boltons as well, expect to go up. So they were 2 big results. So we've had a good start. I think, as Brownie said, if we can beat Rotherham, that'll be a real decent start, because we will be in the top 4, something like that. And that gives you a little bit of a lift.
I think the real test for us, I think last season, if you look at last season, the games I've watched, so we sort of struggled against the lesser teams. So I think in terms of when we play those lesser teams, how we perform those games, and do we go away in games where it's difficult and the fans are there, and do we get 3 points in those away games? So I think at the moment we've played some big teams and we've got results. It'll be interesting to see when we play those lesser teams, maybe a little bit later down.
Yeah, but looking ahead to Saturday, it should be a very exciting game indeed. And please, if you possibly can, come and support Nathan and the lads. Yeah, and tickets for Saturday's game are available at booking.cafc.co.uk. Look, Liz, you'll be here on Saturday, and obviously you don't have to keep flashing the Liverpool goal up now that you got that pass, so that's really good as well.
Are we?
Sorry,
No,
bad news on that fella.
We haven't got the pass.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
No, I've got the pictures and all sorts, but nothing's been
I've
confirmed.
been told there's a delay on that. There's been a bit of a hitch. We'll get it to you as quick as possible. Okay,
Listen,
sorry.
it was nothing that I didn't expect. There's no way I was just going to get a pass straight away. I don't even get in the car park. So
YouTube, bring your clip.
yeah.
He won't be unhappy about it, I'm sure. But that will be some game, won't it?
Yeah,
And hopefully some atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the season, I had them down as, I saw some of the signings they got, and I had them down as one of the favourites. And as Brownie spoke about, quite happy they got that win the other day, because I felt that if they didn't, they would have probably come here and they would have been really looking for that first win. So maybe they've got that first win and they'll relax a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be a massive game. It's a massive club who just got relegated, so it's going to be a real good test, and I'm sure the lads will be up for it.
I would so love Charlton and Rotherham to get promoted automatically. We shall see what happens come the end of the season. Now, Brownie, you must be hoping we can strike it lucky on Saturday and bowl out Steve Evans' side. You know what's coming, don't you?
Yeah, I remember doing it. Yeah, it was with
those,
Roycey.
don't talk yet. It's my turn to talk.
Sorry.
For those not aware of Stevie Brownie's bowling prowess, we're grateful to the Charlton Athletic Museum for helping us take this wonderful walk down memory lane.
But now they've won 3 out of 3, Simon Royce and Steve Brown will tell you, Charlton are on a roll.
We were stuck on 17 points. You know, it felt like forever. And there comes a point where you think that this next game's got to be the one we win. And you always feel that. You always think the next game's the one we win, and you might lose 1-0, and you think, well, it was only 1-0, you know, it'll be the next one. You know, and until you get that win, you know, everyone starts thinking, oh, we've got another game, here we go. We're slid from like mid-table down, second bottom. And I think everyone thought, oh dear, you know, we're sort of in it now.
The difference is now we're defending a lot better, and we're not giving away so many goals. And the forwards are doing their job. You know, they're nicking a goal here and there, and it's took a lot of pressure off of the boys at the back.
You've put me under undue pressure here, you know that, don't you?
Pressure? Not a bit of it. After 10 years with the club, he's back in the first team and loving every minute.
It's everyone's dream, isn't it? Whether you're first, second or third division, everybody wants to play in that top league. Although it's been limited for me, I think I'm still under I haven't got to 10 yet, I haven't got to double figures, but you know, that's what everybody dreams of. You know, and I can say that I've played there, whether it's 10 games or more, you know, we hope more. You know, it's a dream come true for me.
Here's a safe pair of hands. Since taking over from Sasha Ilic, Simon Royce has been in fine form, most of the time.
Oh my goodness! You said you played before!
Wonderful save from Simon Royce.
After years with Southend, survival battles are nothing new.
I'm an old hat at fighting relegation now. This is my third season on the trot. But hopefully with Charlton, the way things have started going since I've been playing, since Brownie's come in and Keith Jones, if we can keep the same sort of attitude, not get too big for our boots, which I don't think we will. You know, we've got that confidence now. I don't think we'll get overconfident because you know, the lads that we got here aren't that type of bunch of lads.
No problems hitting the target.
It's too good, this. It's only my third game, I swear on my life, it's my third game.
It wasn't always so easy for Charlton until this man came along.
Still, it's still! Martin Pringle, Charlton in front!
From day one, you knew he was electrifying off the mark. He was quick. And I think that gives us a little advantage because no other Premier League knew. You know, so we could exploit that for the first maybe 4, 5, 6 games, which we have, and he scored 3 and 5, I think. But now, obviously, people are going to come and watch. They know he's quick. You know, they know he's tall. So maybe the edge is gone, but you know, take nothing away from him. He's done ever so well for us.
I think it helped the way he fitted in because he didn't come in. Like sometimes you might get a foreigner come in. Everybody knows that you know, clubs have their differences with foreigners, but he's come in and it was almost like he'd been a Charlton player already because he's fitted in so well with the lads.
This new signing's also fitted in rather well.
Fantastic boost for us. I mean, we've never had anyone near the calibre of John Barnes, especially since I've been here. You know, so to just have him around the training ground, his experience alone is you know, is worth a lot to Charlton.
When he came on in his first game against Liverpool, one of his first jobs, he tracked back Paul Ince, won the ball off of him and set us off on an attack. I said to him afterwards, I thought your legs had gone. But he managed to get back and make a great tackle.
So close. Thanks for the game, son.
It's Brown who's won this one, but in today's game, neither side can afford to drop points.
There's absolutely no way they're going to come and let us, you know, run the roost because they're fighting for their lives, like we were 4 weeks ago.
They won't be coming for a point.
No.
They need to win because we could almost see them relegated tomorrow.
4 wins out of 4? On current form, who'd bet against these boys, leaving Forest close to the drop?
I'm not upset, but I'm sweating a lot. I didn't enjoy that one. But good times. Left out for half a season again. Come in 4 wins on the trot. Had a point to prove.
That's probably how you done your knee.
Playing that silly game, yeah. Oh, it's just, yeah.
What day you look like then?
Yeah. So, I grew
I'm
into the eyebrows at least.
I'm trying to not talk here and just make him squirm.
Grew into the eyebrows.
Yeah.
Mullet was on point.
Yeah, I'm just really happy to be in the side.
Never wear watches. Though I was wearing a watch. It is what it is when you're young, isn't it?
Oh, back to the 80s, Kaji Goose.
Oh dear.
Do you remember filming that?
Yeah, because it was a tough year. We'd gone up through the playoffs and, you know, I think I come in around the end of January and we did win. I think we won 3 on the trot, maybe went to 4 and then we drew against Leeds. I think Maltz missed a penalty which would have given us that 1-0 win and he missed it and we drew 0-0. And we couldn't quite hang on. But it's like I said in that interview, you can't take it away once you've played. The Else be the same. Once you've played in that Premier League, that's it, it's there.
And you played more than 10 games.
Yeah, eventually, yeah, not many more. But it was just, yeah, I remember there was, because that was a bit of a flip for us in terms of results were tough to get and we got a few on the trot and it did give us that little bit of hope for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, that wasn't my favourite year. My favourite year was winning the championship. And I think that was a brilliant year. And then what happened after that is he just put squads together that got stronger and stronger. That one, you know, it was a bit, you know, we got up and it was hard for that squad to stay up because it was such a competitive league and we didn't have a lot of money and not a lot of time after the playoffs. So, but great experiences. Yeah, I remember doing it. I'm so glad you brought it up. It was brilliant. Yeah.
Made you want a copy of it, didn't you?
No.
Halfway through, by the way, he's actually saying, "How long got left? I'm sweating."
Yeah, it's awful.
What are your bowling skills like?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah?
Really good. Me and Kevin James. Yeah, we used to go every week. Got my own ball at home as well. So I've had my own. Yeah,
wow, you've got to be good if you got that.
Yeah, in our own little league. I saw some of Brownie's shots there, and they were quite lucky. I don't think there was a consistency to it.
Technique wasn't.
No. So some of them are going to hit, some of them are not. But yeah, I quite enjoy bowling. I don't expect that from me. But yeah, I love bowling. I think it's indoor, so can't get cold. Yeah, don't play anymore now. I've got 5 kids and responsibilities.
Yeah, and you need decent knees to play it now as well, so that's not going to happen.
I got a feeling. I think the result of the 10-pin bowling could be the same as our result at the table tennis. Do you remember when I pumped you in the semi-final?
Yeah, I don't think I was feeling well that day, to be fair. But you banned it. You know, Curbs banned it in the table tennis. Lads were getting injured just so we could play table tennis.
Yeah, the lads were getting injured doing table tennis.
No.
If they was injured,
concentrating more.
The boys would be out there
right,
training,
okay.
and they'd be playing table tennis.
Yeah.
So I'll come in one day and trot on the ball.
Can we move on?
He's upset.
I feel it now.
Move on. I can see him getting his
What are you lot doing? You're more serious with that than you are with that. Just a word on Martin Pringle as well, because he was brought up there. I mean, he was a Benfica teammate of mine, and I remember you calling me and saying, do you want to come back? I said, look, not right now, but I know someone who would be very, very good, who's on the periphery of Benfica. How did he do for the club?
We sent Keith out to have a look, and Keith really fancied him, and it was a loan situation, so we jumped in and got him. You know, he was quick, aggressive, nice lad as well.
Yeah,
I mean, that was another thing, wasn't he? He was good
they
lad.
all were the Scandinavian boys. They were smashing.
So he come in and done a good job for us.
Okay, it was my third go. I'm good, aren't I? Should we look back at the season so far now, individually?
Please.
The league one anyway. We'll start off with Wigan. And Brownie, you, of course, you had your knee up, so you weren't around for it. But, I mean...
I did watch it though, Scotty.
Yeah. And just, a result we didn't necessarily expect, did we? Because it's such a difficult place to go normally.
Yeah, and I think this was the catalyst. I mean, in terms of how we defended that penalty box, you're looking at it and going, you would have taken a 0-0, I think, for first game. Going away to Wigan, and we're holding on, and you're thinking, well, not even holding on. But everything we let them have was wide, distance, and it was a really controlled performance, you know, behind the ball.
I thought we grew into the game, didn't we?
Yeah, it got better and better and better. Yeah, absolutely. And it's obviously a mistake from their perspective for our goal, but that's what I mean staying in the game does. You're 0-0, you give yourself a chance. Look, I mean, these are coming in from 30 yards plus. The goal on Saturday for Reading was almost 30 yards, and they very rarely go in. But we had moments, you know, like this. And I was like, we've been complaining about the back line and conceding too many soft goals, and this was the opposite. It was a really good start in terms of putting your foot forward and how we're going to defend this season. And you have to give them a lot of credit for going up there and keeping a clean sheet. And nicking the win was the icing on the cake.
Well, I watched this game as well, and I think the first 10-15 minutes I thought we were struggling to get out. It looked like they were going to be all over us, and then I think we grew into the game. We got confidence. You got to remember, we got so many different players coming into the team, and that was their first game, and you could see it. But as the second half gradually went on and on, I felt we was going to be the only team to win. And as I say, as Brownie said, it was a solid defensive performance. I felt that if you look at, there's triggers there where people are going out to close the ball and there's people covering them. I thought it was a real good defensive display.
Yeah, he went mental on the sidelines about that moment. So in terms of Nathan, that is, in terms of what we speak about in here, and we've seen it so many times over the last 3 or 4 years, players dropping his shoulder, coming inside, opens up that far corner, and we doubled up nicely there, and then didn't do the job after we'd done the hard work, let him off the hook. That could have easily crept in that far post. And Nathan's response on the sideline was almost like, right, okay, that's exactly how it should be, because that could lead to a 1-1. And having the 3 points in the bag is a brilliant start. Moments like that is what he cares about. Like, you've got to get it done right to the end, and it is showing. You know, we are going to lose games. You know, we talk about how good we've become defensively, and we are going to lose games along the way. But that was a good start.
Yeah. And one more point I want to make, Curbs, on that particular game is Lloyd Jones got the goal, and it's something which you've been saying for a long time now, hasn't it? Defenders to be chipping in.
Well, I mean, I used to sit there and work out each department how many goals I think they should be contributing. And there's an area that I think we've been lacking for some time: set plays. We don't look, you know, we've not looked as if we're going to score from any corners or wide free kicks or whatever. And so it was nice to see a defender get on the end of something. But you know, as a group, you got to be scoring a certain amount of goals. And you know, I'm glad to see the midfield players are chipping in, because you know that has been a problem. Alfie May was the major goal scorer, but there was no one anywhere near him. And that's got to change. You know, we've got to have 2 strikers chipping in, we've got to have a midfield player getting near double figures, and we've got to have a back 4 that contributes nearly double figure. 8, 9, 10. And, you start getting that sort of stuff, you've got a chance.
Yeah. We'll come on now to midfielders scoring. But first of all, with the Leyton Orient game, Brownie, we were speaking after it, and you said to me that even though it was a late winner, you always felt it was coming.
Second half, I thought we were good value. Again, Kev mentioned it in the Wigan game. I thought we started a bit sticky. I thought there was moments in that first half where there was a 1v1 battle down their right, our left, and they were on top in that area and they were creating things. But we were still not giving up simple chances, which is the difference. And then second half, I thought we were much the better side, and it was a case of could we score that goal? And if it came late, but it came, and that was the important thing. But yeah, certainly second half, that performance deserves the goal that came.
What I liked about this performance was, and I know it'd be odd for a striker to say this, but I felt our two centre-backs were really aggressive with their striker, didn't allow him to hold the ball up, didn't allow them to get up the pitch. And I think they were catalysts to everything that we did this day, especially, as Brownie said, second half. I thought second half, I spoke to a few people at Leyton Orient, and they felt that their centre-backs sort of dominated our front players, and then they grew into the game. And as Brownie said, as the game went on, there's only one team that looked like scoring.
They had a lot of players go down with cramp, little injuries, second 45, and actually we did. This was the first game. I didn't see it so much in the Wigan game. I was at home for that one, but watched it. But seeing this one live, you did see the Charlton side step on fitness-wise, and you saw Leyton Orient suffering.
Overrun them, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in midfield.
They had centre halves going down, midfielders going down. They were getting frustrated.
We spoke, didn't we, after about our midfielders getting past the striker.
Yeah.
And it looked like later on in the game that our midfielders still had the energy to get in there. You look at people running beyond people, and look, there's 4v4 there.
It's Coventry and Feedenberry. That was midfielder beyond our strike.
And that's 0-0. That's a 0-0 game. So obviously the manager's like, look, we're trying to win the game. He brought two strikers on who gave us a little bit more energy. And then you look at the two midfielders getting beyond the strike. That's 4 people in the box. And I think what that does is it gives you more opportunity of scoring goals, especially at home.
There's your midfielder scoring.
Yeah, and I've been saying for some time, they've not been getting enough goals from midfield. No matter who's been playing there, what system we've been playing, there's not enough coming out of that midfield area. So it's nice to see them getting on the end of something, and they've been good goals as well.
Yeah. Just the final one, a quick one on that one, and we will move on to Bolton as well. 2 of your former teams, of course, but really important to get a first home win of the season, wasn't it, for us?
Yeah, and especially the way we did it, as Brownie spoke about. I think defensively we were really solid. Didn't look like conceding second half. The energy levels towards the ending of the game was really important, which shows that the lads are fit, even though it's quite early on in the season. And then obviously getting that late goal, and I think we did it the week before, if I'm correct. So it shows the consistency, it shows a level of fitness, and I'm sure the manager will be happy with both performances, getting a 1-0 and obviously scoring late goals as well.
Happy with both of those performances, but Bolton arguably the best.
Oh, I would have thought so. We were sitting there going, if we can get something from today, it's a really good 3 points. If we could, almost saying 0-0, take a point. And actually, I thought, it's a sloppy goal from their perspective, but that ball in, I'm loving, and that first touch, I'm loving. I mean, there's a lot to do from the turnover to scoring that goal. They still had 5 behind the ball. But the first ball in, stepped on, positive, fires it in at pace. Curbs would have loved that.
Most players will take a touch there, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then it closes.
Yeah,
and
that goal's been worked on in training. You can see that. First of all, the press, and then bang, straight in.
Absolutely.
So we got a chance.
From their perspective, the first ball out's awful, and actually the second goal from their perspective is similar. But it's all on the quality once the turnover comes. Both goals, there's very, very good quality once we get the turnover.
Yeah. And Curbs, for all the time we've been doing Charlton TV, Bolton have given us problems. So for us to do this, it's a real sign of progression, isn't it?
You'd think that Bolton will be thereabouts, wouldn't you, at the end of the season? But no, I mean, they did cause their own problems, but it's 2 great finishes in the end. The first one was a fantastic controlled finish. I like the second goal because, we'll see it in a minute, but I think Chucks has just come on, and perhaps should have done better with that. But they give the ball away again, and it's an instant pass. Like what Brownie's at there is, it's an instant pass.
But it's triggers, isn't it?
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that from Coventry.
Yeah.
This pass here,
I think there's 3 or 4 of them.
That's a great ball.
I like that from Coventry because he left a man to go and pressurise the man that was in possession or going to receive possession, and he comes in on the blind side, nicks it, and then it's about, again, quality on the turnover. Falls to Chucks, which is the fortunate bit, but the first touch, the look up, movement from Godden, inch perfect cross.
Yeah.
Just got to make contact, keep it down 2-0, and that kills the game.
Brilliant assist from Chucks, but how pleased will Matty Godden be to get off the mark?
Yes, there's nothing better and there's nothing worse than not getting that first goal. So it's almost like a weight off your shoulder. Even though it's so early in the season, I think it's quite important for people that are meant to score. And we spoke earlier, I think last month, about then being able to express yourself once you've got that goal and that weight being lifted off. So I think now he's got that goal, hopefully he'll get some more. And as Curb said earlier, I think you're looking at probably 15 goals from certain people and then defenders. So you're looking for goals from all over the pitch, and if you can contribute to that and you're a big part of that, I think that will help him massively.
And just psychologically, being a striker as well, when you're saying you're paid to score goals and you're trying to do that, although today's football you're asked to do more than that. Yeah. The difference between, and both when you go home, but also on the pitch, between when you're scoring and when you've not made the mark that you want to.
Yeah, I'm one of those. As soon as I score, I want the game over.
Even if you lose it.
No, you don't. Like
5-1. We lost 5-1, but I scored.
Exactly that.
It is so funny. You lose 5-1. There is a sense of disappointment, but there is that sense of
that's a true striker saying.
No, and also what it does is it gives you confidence for the next game as well. So although you've lost that game. I know Brownie's laughing, but I know you've lost that game, but it still shows that you've done your part, and maybe in the next game you'll get another goal that may then influence that game.
Yeah.
No, there's a flip side to that. I'm laughing because you know as well, fullback might make a block on the line, he'll head one off the line, he'll get tight, and we'll win 1-0 and the striker gets man of the match. Absolutely. And you're like, he was awful. Yeah. Awful. And he'll be going, and he reminds me, he'll be window down going, cheers. 1-0, Lisbie. Yeah.
And Brownie's one of those, as you're warming down, he'll be shouting if you're doing an interview or something like that.
How have you got that?
I got 2 off the line.
And you would as well.
2 goals. Okay, let's talk about Reading then. And obviously, we have to. First loss of the season. Mm-hmm. It was a tight game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a tight game, and we weren't at our best. I'm going to say that. Right, we weren't at our best, and I actually thought their system caused us a few problems, and I thought the way they manoeuvred the ball around caused us problems. But we did have the best 2 chances of the first half. That, I think, has to hit the target. People might say that's harsh, but the ball's come out and it's fallen dead weight on a half volley, 18 yards out.
Spoken like the natural striker.
Wolves, get the Wolves one. Tell them to get the Wolves one up. The first half. You know, they did, again, from a defensive perspective, they were on top. I thought they had the better moves. This is the second chance, right? But we kept them at bay. It was all at angles, distances. And so therefore, when people go, yeah, they did play better, but we had the best 2 chances. So it's a tough one to, you know, when you walk away going, I thought we're on the better side. No, we had that. That was the one gilt-edged chance.
Curb, so the first loss, as a manager, how do you work with your players to ensure a bounce back? You know, Liz has already said you don't get that. The top teams don't have back-to-back losses.
I know that Nathan was very critical of the performance, etc. So I would have thought this week's training, it'd have been a bit of like liveliness in there and a bit of oomph and a bit of finger pointing and 1 or 2 other things going on. I think that's a good goal. I mean, people were saying it's a long way out, but he struck it so well. But as I said earlier in the programme, you know, you're talking about that's a Premier League club. You look at that stadium; it's a Premier League club. They've been a Premier League club, obviously. So have Bolton, so have Wigan. We've got Birmingham coming up. You know, we've got Wrexham who are on an upward trend. On paper, we've had a very difficult start, I think. And you've just said about Rotherham being relegated last year and one of the favourites to go back up. So I think if we come out with a decent amount of points from the first 5 or 6 games, or 6 or 7 games, something like that, we've got we've got something to look forward to.
I think we've got to be also considerate that I think every team in this league feels that they can beat the opposition team. So although we go into this game thinking with 1-2 or with 1-3, we're doing well, it's still Reading. It's still Reading who have decent players, and as Brownie said, play some decent football at times as well, move us around. So I think the manager obviously will be disappointed, but I think he'll understand that you're not going to go through the whole season not losing a game, and maybe it gives him a chance to address a few things that maybe the 1-0's paved over the cracks. So I think there's a few results that we had were 1-0, but then there are chances the opposition had, and then when you don't score, it's all okay because you've won 1-0. But when you lose, then you sort of have to address the issues. So hopefully you look back at that, address the issues, and it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, to say he was disappointed after game, I think is an understatement, but absolutely that's the winner that he is. Let's have a look at the table, shall we? Starting with the bottom half, and Curbs, isn't it great to say we're not in it?
No, I know, and you know, I think that after 7 or 8 games, it starts to take a little bit of shape. That's why I think these games coming up now, Rotherham and the Birminghams and the Wrexhams, they're big games for us, and if we can find ourselves in the top 6 or even better than that, then it gives you a bit of momentum, and that's what we've got to be looking for.
Brownie, looking at the teams there, who surprises you?
Well, the natural one is Bolton, isn't it? You know, and I've said this, I think, somewhere in an interview somewhere, that sometimes you get to a point where you've pushed, nearly got there, pushed again, thinking you could get automatic, you end up playoffs, you lose again. And when they were here, there was just something about their team wasn't quite right. Santos wasn't the player he was, and he seemed a bit off. He seemed like he was a bit casual. Manager seemed like, you know, he was very calm, and like I know from years gone past, he's been here and he's been on the sidelines, he's been on them, and he wasn't on them, and they weren't sort of the Bolton they have been over the last 2 seasons. So and they lost Exeter at home this weekend. So you're like, there's something just going amiss there. As the 2 close seasons undone them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and I just wonder if they're having that going on this year.
Possibly. And Curbs, just got to mention as well, your mate, Stevie Bruce, manager of Blackpool.
I know.
I heard him on the radio. He said, I've tried retirement, I didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, I don't think he's ever been down in this league before. You know, and obviously he hasn't been watching this league. So like, he might be in for a bit of a shock. But, you know, he's vastly experienced. It'd be interesting to see. And he's coming after the window. Or the window, you know, so he can't bring any players in. He's got to work with what he's got. It's quite an interesting one. And he obviously ain't doing it for finances. No. That's for sure. No, absolutely. So he's doing it because he's desperate to get back in.
Yeah, he wants it. I think he said it. I don't know if it's the right word to use, but it's like a drug. I kind of need it. Okay, let's get to the top of the table now. And the 2 promoted sides, top 2 at the moment, Brownie. Can they stay there?
I don't see why not. I mean, Wrexham will naturally, you'll gravitate to Wrexham because of the finances. But Stockport were National North. Like that's a better story for me than Wrexham. Yeah. Much better story, and it goes massively unnoticed. They've dropped from the Championship all the way down to National North and are very much bouncing back, and they've come through the leagues relatively quickly. Dave Challoner's the manager, and I think the guy before him was Simon Rusk, who was Brighton under-21 coach. They tried to go down that direction with the total football, you know, through the lines, and it didn't quite work. He went, Challoner came in, and since that day they've come through the leagues quite quickly. So the momentum's with them. They, you know, and they've started really, really well with a couple of great results that I think have surprised anybody. Momentum, confidence, belief, morale, as we all know, it's unmeasurable. Yeah. When you got it, you can do spectacular things with it. So I don't expect them to be there, but there's no reason why they can't be there. You know, within the manner that they've started. 7 goals, 4, it's a big thing. You look at that column, goal difference. You know, and that's put them on the front foot. But I've been beneath them, sadly, are 2 teams that seem to be able to spend rather a large sum of money. So they're going to be hard to contain, I think, across a 46-game season.
Well, I personally think Stockport will finish above Wrexham. We'll just see. But Liz, what about Birmingham? I mean, they're not in League One financially, are they? They're top-end Championship with the money they're spending and the wages they're giving.
Yeah, you just at some point you expect them just to start blowing teams away once they start getting once they start gelling and once everything starts clicking. I know other clubs have done similar and not got promoted, but I've got a feeling, as Curbs alluded to, having Alfie May there as well. I follow him on Instagram and it seems like he's scoring every single game, and he's got a real hunger and a desire to score. And as we spoke about, if you've got someone like that in your team and then you've got other people adding goals,
Yeah, but they've signed 3 other forwards.
Yeah, exactly. And
incredible.
and then you got clean sheets as well. There's no way you're not getting from
It's a social media, Instagram. That's what he's talking about.
Was that a translation?
Well, yeah. Okay.
Instagram is like,
Where's he picking up the
Curbs
phone?
is on Instagram all the time.
Oh, don't worry about it, Curbs.
When you talk about Burnley, all I know is they're getting 26,000.
Yeah,
You know, for their home games.
your old side.
And it's got a real feel-good factor. So they're going to be a real problem, I think. They've got to be favourites. I'm not too sure about the Wrexhams of this world, but, there's an opportunity, I think. And, let's see after 8 games where we are, because, as I said, we've got some tough ones coming up. But if we can get a good start and got that momentum, we've got a squad that's strong enough to compete.
Yeah. Before we move on, Brown, it's been a good month for Charlton, as I say. We've got some questions in, and we'll do them throughout the show. But one, got here Sue G. I'm assuming that's you, Sue Gallop. Who or what has impressed you the most, and have there been any surprise performances from anyone of the squad?
Well, I think the most impressive thing, I think I said this, the back 3 have got 2 players from previous seasons that we've gone, walking through the middle of our defence. So the biggest thing for me is you've got 2 players that actually we kind of were criticising over the last 2 years for being a bit soft, conceding simple goals. And Nathan, and I will give, no doubt Curtis is in this as well, Curtis Fleming, have managed to gel that 3 very, very quickly into a much tougher force. So if you're talking about the biggest single difference, I think the way that we've got the wing backs tucking in nice and firm, you've got Coventry sitting in front, the way those 3 defend that box now has purely been done on the training ground, because 2 of that 3 were not performing like that. So I think that's a massive tick for me in terms of a coach has come in, a manager's come in, because most people go, well, you've conceded 60, 70 goals last year. Don't want you any near it. He's gone, no, Jones has got something, like Gillespie there, and he's just worked on him and worked on him, and you can see it. And I think that's paid dividends.
Absolutely. Okay, well, it has been a month of plenty of goals, which is going to make choosing Charlton's Chicken George goal of the month particularly challenging, sponsored by the club's new partners. Chicken George, who serves some fantastic chicken in the new fan zone on match days. Well, our esteemed panel have to select the goal of the month competition. Curbs, Liz, Brownie, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all different teams as well, is it? It's
different levels.
Yeah.
Get your popcorn.
Yeah.
Sit and watch, and I'll ask you a question at the end of it. Right, I've got my own little list, but I want your
List?
No, you didn't say that.
not list. I'm just saying
scared
I've
us.
got my list. I want your total combined selection. Who wins it? Who wins goal of the month?
I don't think we're not gonna agree, are we?
Majority decision? No, don't tell me you're all choosing one each. Otherwise, then I have the final pick.
Yeah, I think
We
we
all
said
go
us-
to lefty, wouldn't you? Lefty, all bit goal, top corner.
I can tell you he's in my top 3.
Yeah.
Toby
Go on,
Warrior.
Yeah.
I'm going Doherty with mine.
Okay.
I like the pass, I like the early pass, and I like the finish nice and early.
I like Goddard's. Because I think we've won the ball back, pressurised, and instantly turned into a
I
goal.
was going to do one on like a jokey one, but it's obviously a bit more serious than that. So
And a boy bow, yeah? I like the boy bow.
well, yeah.
Or bow up.
I know this is a bit controversial, but I quite like the turn on the edge of the box, on the back foot, rolling the defender, picking the spot with the curler on the right hand side.
Ibrahim Fuller.
Yeah, I quite like
Okay,
that
so
one.
you've chosen one each. I can tell you that my number one is one of those three.
Ooh.
It's Brownie's one, I think.
Don't know.
Eye contact.
Correct.
I'm good at eye contact.
Ibrahim Fuller, you have got the goal of the month. I thought it was a brilliant bit of skill.
Yeah.
Turn,
Rolling the defender,
awareness
picking
of
the
where
spot.
the goal is as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't actually think you would appreciate that. I didn't think you'd appreciate
Kevin,
how hard that was. And
Kevin.
you've never done that before, so I was a bit.
I wanted to
shocked.
give it to Jones.
I know you did say that.
Just
so.
in the body, staying out the way of the mess.
Big centre
keeping
half,
away,
getting up, scoring.
Knee and foot over the ball, far corner.
Far corner. Underneath the keeper.
Beautiful finish, Jonesy, centre half.
There were some fantastic finishes by Ibrahim Fuller. You will be presented with the Chicken George Goal of the Month trophy at the club's training ground next week, and we hope there'll be plenty more like that for next month to judge on as well. Okay, well, after the Addicts' impressive start, here's what Nathan Jones' side have coming up in September. So let's go through the fixtures then, shall we? It's Rotherham at home at the weekend, Shrewsbury away, Cambridge away, Blackpool at home, Stevenage away. And Brandon, we've already talked about Rotherham in more detail already, but after that, a trip to Shrewsbury.
Yeah, it's an early start. I think Terry Smith told me I'd have to be at the Valley for 6:45 for that one.
You never used to do away games, did you?
No, but I'm going to look forward to that one. But yeah, look, those are the ones for me that are your banana skins in terms of if you're going to be up there.
As Liz was saying.
Yeah, if you're going to be up there, you've got to take advantage of those ones. You've got to try and get on the front foot away from home at the Shrewsburys of this world. If you don't, it's not the biggest setback in the world, but it just puts you in that frame of mind that we can go to places like pick up results and then hopefully you can take care of business here, whoever comes here. But the Shrewsbury one, yeah, in years gone by, they've been a tough watch. They don't give much away there. That's kindest way I can put it. They've been a tough watch.
So you've got a long journey and a tough
watch. Great company though, great company.
I just think
with Tell and Greg.
That set of fixtures is a marker there for me. They're winnable. They're really winnable. You know, I think there was Cambridge in there down the bottom, and this one and that one. I think you've got to be looking. We're going to take a majority of them points, which takes us into them tough games that we're talking about, the Birminghams and the Wrexhams. So I think we've got to make hay while we can. I think that's a set of fixtures. If I was Nathan, I'll be looking forward to them.
You're going to be meeting up with Brucey when Blackpool come at the end of September?
No.
Okay. Points prediction from that list?
Was it 5 games?
Yeah, one's a cup game.
Oh,
One's a cup game, no?
Cambridge. Rotherham, Shrewsbury, Cambridge, Blackpool,
Is Cambridge
Stevenage.
League? Oh, all right, just throw me out. Got a game
Oh,
more than
5 games.
It might be the EFL Cup.
5 games, 10 points. If they're 5 league games, we've got to be looking at 2 points a game, 10 points.
Okay. And if it's a cup game, then it's 8 points. Yeah. Okay. Busy weekend at the Valley, of course, as Charlton Athletic women kick off the season here on Sunday against Portsmouth. The Addicts drew 2-2 against WSL side Aston Villa in the final pre-season game. So Brandy, they'll be looking for a really strong start to this season, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've said about building foundations over the last couple of years, and very close last year. Very good Crystal Palace team that scored a lot of goals, eventually went up. But yeah, look, why not this year? Why not? Because it's been a nice, slow, steady improvement. Let's get it over the line this year.
Yeah, and they will be playing here permanently, which is really important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good. I think nowadays the pitch is, it looks fantastic out there, doesn't it? And it can take the wear and tear. And I think the only problem for the club is the expense of opening up in a stadium, where there's not going to be a big crowd or a decent crowd. And I think the under-21s or whatever should be playing here as well if they can. When I first took over here, we was having players making their debut at the Valley, and it's the first time they played there because we was playing at Welling and whatever. So no, we've got to use the ground a bit more.
Yeah, I think that was the whole point of putting that type of pitch in, wasn't it? It can take a lot more traffic. So they've already played it once, I think. Could be wrong, but yeah, I think that's the whole point of that, is that you can get as much traffic, the women's team, 21s and the first team playing on it.
And after coming so close last season, Liz, it's almost that thing inside you, that motivation all over the whole summer and throughout the whole season, isn't it, to make that final step?
Yeah, I think Arteta spoke about it with Arsenal. He said that when the season ended, he looked in his players' face and they all went up to him after and said, look, we went close, we think we can do it again next year. So I'm sure our women will be thinking the same. There's nothing to fear in this league. I think as long as you do your job and you're consistent in what you do and you perform, I feel that you've always got a chance. And as you say, now playing here on this pitch, hopefully that will suit them and hopefully they'll get promoted.
Absolutely. And make sure you get down to the Valley on Sunday, support the team. Tickets available at booking.cafc.co.uk. OK, whilst the women's season gets underway on Sunday, the men's under-21s have started the season like a house on fire. Listen to this one. Wigan at home, 1-4-2. Barnsley away, 1-4-0. Hull here at the Valley, 1-6-0. Burnley away, 1-4-0. Some start that, Brown, isn't it?
Yeah. Very, very good. No, I
clean sheets as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Apart from the first game against
I worry
Wigan.
a little bit about the 21s football. That is a brilliant start. You're absolutely right. Can't take them away. Pumping goals in for fun, but the goals conceded at 21s level it astonishes me how many goals are conceded in almost all the games. So a lot of goals conceded. Next step is first team football. You've got a manager here that probably doesn't, and a lot of managers up and down the country, funny enough, that will want to keep less than a goal a game against going in. And some of the results you get through are 6-2, 5-3. I think that's a bit of a worrying trend, but that might be just me and my defensive way, I think.
It's a massive step up, Cuz, isn't it, from the under-21s to men's football, first team football?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is the biggest problem as well, and the pressure on managers now. Even in, you look at in the Premier League, for an opportunity to play a youngster is very, very difficult because you lose a couple of games and all that money, etc. You might get relegated, and it's creeping down as well that managers are under pressure, and the pathway don't seem to be there as much. As perhaps when news come through, which is sad, but it's the way of the world at the moment. So when they come through, they've got to be of such a quality that they stay in the team.
Absolutely. The under-21s are back at the Valley on Friday in cup action against Leeds. We know the visitors will bring a fair bit of travelling support as well. So Liz, it would be great to see as many Charlton fans as possible come down here, wouldn't it? Because how important is it for the under-21s, not just to get a feel of the pitch and the stadium, but atmosphere and the pressure that brings?
Yeah, I think that's key. That's the main point of playing men's football. It's actually dealing with the pressures that come with it and the 3 points rather than just the win and it meaning nothing. And the standards we set upon ourselves. So, for instance, someone like Brownie, if you lose the ball as a striker, because it means that much, you'll hear your centre back saying, "Look, hold the ball." So there's so many difficulties that come with playing first team football, and although they are playing at the Valley, you'd like them hopefully to be able to move on to play first team football. And I think the only way they're going to do that is if they play in front of a crowd and experience that pressure.
So try and get down if you possibly can. Okay, now some big news last month involving two of our studio guests. We can confirm Stevie Brownie.
He loves that. Yeah, every time he smiles at that one.
Been appointed General Manager of the newly formed Ex-Players Association, with Kevin Lisbie appointed as team manager. Liz, Brownie, congratulations. You must be excited, but Liz, does that mean Brownie's above you?
No, as you can see, we're right side by side there. Brownie has a different job than me. He's got more pressure. He will be getting paid more than me.
No,
so,
that's not true. That's not true at all.
So you've got the same jobs. So I mean, look, we put a lot of work into this. This has been like a year and a half trying to get this off the ground and trying to get this former players association back together and getting old players back down here to come back and interact with the fans and the club.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say.
It was a windy day, by the way, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, I went for the Wolverine. I think I couldn't quite get there.
Jesus, with some names then. Go on.
No, it's not the more than names. Can I just say as well, like, there's only one reason this is happening. It's because there's some support from above, right? Before that, there wasn't, and Kev took it upon himself, and Sue Gallop's helped, I believe. Right? I think Sue Gallop paid for a kit for Kev to use when the support wasn't there. So there's people that have kept it going. However slowly. Keith Peacock's another one who's done some incredible stuff, the 25th anniversary, the 30th anniversary, with very little help. And now the club are willing to help. So it's an arm that we hope to be able to grow, right? But you can't do it without the support from people above. And we've got Gavin Carter on board. Jason Morgan's going to help. Steve Sutherland's on board. What I would say is we are starting from scratch. And I think, in truth, a lot of noses have been put out of joint over a long period of time. And so, in terms of where me and Kev, it's a lot of phone calls, a lot of texts. We're trying to reconnect with everybody. If the message can get out there and a player, we haven't got everybody's numbers. We're very limited in the amount of numbers we've got. And it's just trying to get everybody to reconnect with the football club. Because it isn't about a match here at the end of the season, 15 lads turning up. This is about, we've had 1,000 players in our history, right? If we can get 200, if Kev puts on a game at the end of the season, doesn't matter what the opponents are, we don't want just 15, 20, we want 100. Come and use it as a social. Come and see people we haven't seen for 10 years, across all eras. And the club are welcoming players back. Phone in if you want a ticket and you come and watch a game. That's where the club want to get to. They want to recognise ex-players at this football club, not shun them. And 2 tickets, sorry, can't help you this week. We're trying to get away
Kevin
from
Lisbie,
that.
Never heard of him. You can't
Kevin Lisbie,
Yeah,
I scored a hat-trick. Here it is.
How'd you spell Lisbie?
Yeah, right. That sort of stuff.
I said the other week, George Shipley.
George Shipley came back. Well, I think Steve Sutherland tried to connect with John Pearson. Nicky Johns. We all know we love him Shirty. That era is tougher to get hold of, right? If I'm honest with you, and you could do with a little bit of help on that front. But if anybody is listening in and can speak with people, I want to make sure everybody's welcome back. Fish and Bartlett are coming back. Pringle just came on. I've interacted with a little bit. Svensson as well, who I've got a lot of time for Svenny. JJ, and we have an argument about JJ. You say JJ, Jonathan Johansson is the only JJ, whereas...
You say Johnny Jackson.
Well, I don't say he's the only, but JJ, if you say JJ, it's Johnny Jackson, but JJ, So, and Jensen.
Like a married couple, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's been like this.
We've been like this
I just want
last-
to tell you one quick story. I was leaving one of the voicemails, and you know what I'm like. Yeah, Liz, Brownie just checking in. Da, da, da. Anyway, by the time I looked down, it said 4 minutes 24, right? And I stopped it like that. You know what I'm like? Sent it like that, and my phone went Kevin Lisbie, and I went, oh. You know what, Liz? He went, I'm not listening to that. It's too long.
It's too long.
Yeah, that'd be 4 minutes of my life I'd never get back.
The funny thing about it, we stayed on the phone for about an hour, didn't we?
But Curbs, look, on a serious level, this is a great idea, and it is really important to understand what what this club is all about and the people who have played for Charlton. Some who are doing really well, but some actually aren't, whether that be on a financial or mental health level.
Yeah. And if there is any ex-players out there who are struggling, whatever, it surely must give them a lift. If they come back here and get to a game and see some old faces and whatever, obviously the times when a lot of the players played, the finances wasn't there, so it is a bit different. But I'm sure they'd love just to come back. And as I say, when they've been mentioning some names off air, I've been thinking, oh yeah, nice, this. And I think we was talking to Robert Lee the other day, where he said, obviously Newcastle, they do it really well.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to strive to do better.
I think West Ham do as well.
Yeah,
You've been over there, they do it well.
Yeah.
I mean, really well.
Chelsea do it really well as well.
Yeah, I've not experienced it.
Yeah,
but
they have the ambassadors, the people
But,
there.
but I do think there's an appetite for
the
it.
match
But
days.
it's a slow burner because we're
Of course
starting
it is.
from
Of course. Final one on this. Did you ever think you'd be hearing general manager and team manager with these two?
I want to say general manager is the loosest term, right? I'm going to have to revoke that title and just say.
Don't you want to be a fly on the wall and have their first confrontation?
I think they've had it
Oh,
already.
he's quite short with his answers, and I sometimes think you've been a bit rude, Kev, like that. But I think it's just Kev.
I've actually been told that he would say that and I'll just say no, yes.
Yeah. Literally, like.
So I don't think we'll ever argue. We've known each other, I don't know, 30 years now.
It's a long
We've
time.
not had
It's a
one
long
argument off the field.
No.
Not off
No.
the field.
How about on it then?
Yeah, well, it's his first touch.
God.
It's terrible,
Oh,
isn't it?
God.
He
Hold the
didn't
ball
have
up, Kev.
he didn't have to chase back on his first touch. I had to defend it. Give it away again. Well done, Liz. I'll defend that for you.
Finished?
Yeah, all done.
Yeah, sure. Okay, we'll move on. Now, some upcoming meetings are taking place in the next few weeks, and it's a chance for supporters to get down and hear some of the important people within the club. Firstly, Matty Godden and Kane Ramsey will take part in a Q&A at Ashford Railway Club on September the 23rd. The Q&A is run by supporter group East Kent Addicts and is open to all. Then on October the 3rd, the club's CEO, Charlie Methven, and board member Gavin Carter will be speaking at the Bromley Addicts. The meeting is again open to all and takes place at the Petswood British Legion Club. I'm the president, by the way, of that. Just thought I'd throw that one out there. Supporters can attend both of those. Supporters in Kent who aren't so close but would be keen on running similar events locally to them should register their interest by emailing fans@cafc.co.uk. That's fans@cafc.co.uk. Okay, we are coming towards the end of this month's show. It's absolutely flown by, hasn't it? What, just over an hour? An hour of our life we'll never get back. But anyway, let's go on to a few questions, shall we? We asked for a few and we did get some coming in. And actually, Liz, this is one you mentioned as well, but I'm going to throw it to Curbs. Dear panel, do you see a familiar togetherness between the squads of Alan Curbishley and Nathan Jones in the sense of willing to succeed, driven by winners on and off the pitch? Kind regards, that's from Kevin. Actually, if you don't want to answer it, that's fine, because I can throw it to Brownie, because he can certainly see that, and he was part of that dressing room as well.
Yeah, I think they're starting to see a tighter squad. I don't think we've seen one for a few years, and we've sat up here and watched games and gone, that doesn't scream of. Whereas this one, there does seem to be a bit of camaraderie. The off-field stuff that we're seeing come out on social media seems a little bit more vibrant and together. And certainly what helps with that is results on the pitch. But aside from that, Scotty, we could all go out together as a group, couldn't we? I mean, we're talking if there was something arranged, 30 went. And it's pivotal. Maybe one or two didn't show. And you can forgive people every now and again for not showing up, but by and large, whenever something was put on, bang, everybody went out.
Yeah.
If there was a scuffle on the pitch, 8 were over there. And there was a massive togetherness. So you're starting to see some of that. And as we go down the season, if we suddenly start finding ourselves in the top 6, you'll find they naturally gravitate to that position where they want to become a really tight group. Yeah, but it's good signs.
Yeah. Good one here. Charlton fan of 30 years plus and season tickets holder in the lower north stand. We hear loads of stories about Paolo Di Canio when at other clubs about having special treatment and throwing his toys out the pram a lot in training. I was with him at West Ham. Alan, I can tell you that did happen. Did Curbs treat him any different to others? And is there a story or two that can be told about that season with us? Love the show, guys. Alan from Kent.
No,
what can you tell us? Did he treat him differently?
No. Dropped him about 4 or 5 times.
He didn't like it though.
No,
Tell us some stories about how he reacted.
No, he didn't like it, but
I think to play with him, didn't it, when you dropped him? He played with me in the reserves.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. But he came. To be fair, he came to us in a different situation than what he was at West Ham. In all fairness, when I went and met him, I said to him, I've got young players here, Parker, Konchesky and whatever, Liz. I said, they're just going to look up to you when he came in. And from the first day's training, he trained like a Trojan. He trained too hard. Yeah. And he conducted himself properly, and it was great. And whenever anyone talks to Paolo about Charlton, he goes, they finished their highest ever position when I was there. So he's got a lot of affection for the club. But when we first met him, we had to do a bit of persuading. He was a free transfer. So we went round to his house, me, Richard Murray, Peter Varney and Jeff Fatiri, because he could speak Italian. And, we showed him a few things and videos, etc. I tried to explain to him how he gets to the ground. He had to go through the tunnel. And he had to... No, he said, Paolo, no problem, Paolo don't drive. Someone drives him. Yeah. No.
I was waiting for the third person, Paolo.
Yeah. He was always talking like that, wasn't he? But I think the big thing he done was the ice baths. You remember? Yeah. Wayne Diesel introduced ice baths for the first time. Because he come from Gloucester Rugby Club, and the first day's training, Paolo looked at it as if to say, "I'm not getting in there." Right? What is all this about? And Wayne was explaining how good it would be for their legs and everything else. And the rugby players have been doing it for years. And Paolo's still looking and thinking. I'm thinking, just jump in. If you jump in, all of them are going to jump in. And as he jumped in, he gave me a wink as if to say, you owe me one.
I'm doing this for you.
Yeah, you owe me one. We had a good relationship with him. He was good, wasn't he?
I don't think me and you are going to get the wink when we ask him to come back and do the lounge.
I know how much he got paid for a West Ham gig.
Yeah, I know, exactly right. Yeah.
Not going to happen, but he was a truly, I thought a world-class player, one of the best players I ever played with. Incredible. Yeah, Zola's my number one, but Paolo's in there as top three. Rude Hullet, the other one. Curbs. I'll tell you what, just
dropped a couple of names in there, Kevin. Mind your feet.
You came out with the Zola one. Okay, now let's chuck this to Liz then. Liz, from Reese, where do we think we'll finish this season? Very early, of course.
Yeah, very early. I think, as Brownie said, I think if we start winning games and we build this bond between the team and the fans, I look at the team now and I feel there's real experience, where last year I felt there were games where we were losing games because of those inexperienced players. I feel that we've got that experience at the moment, and I feel if we win games and we get a consistent run going on, I don't see why we can't be in the top 6. I'm not sure about top 2, but I feel like we definitely this season, more than most seasons that I've been here, I feel like we've got a real good chance of finishing the top 6.
Okay, I said top 10 at the start of the season. We'll see. One more question from Darren here. How impressed have you been with Kane Ramsey?
Yeah, impressed, but impressed because look. I think that the entire back five actually has been worked on, and you can see that. And Kane's had a very, very good start. It's not an easy thing. I mean, have you done wing back?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Took years of my career.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not an easy position to get up and down that line. And when you're in control of a game, your wing back's got to go high. That means you're dominating the game. And I think when we're dominating the game, I think he'll be brilliant going forward. It's always that defensive thing that you worry about wing backs. You know, those good defensives they are going to attack. So we'll see when we're under pressure. We haven't come under that much pressure, and we've been very, very solid. But he's had a great start.
Yeah,
great.
Just it's more of a statement here. Well, let's see. Question for Brownie. I miss our chats from London Bridge to Charlton on the train pre-game.
Exactly that is.
When can they resume? Hoping you're keeping well, Brownie. Regards, Katie Price. No, Stevie
I did
from
bump
Wimbledon.
into Katie Price once at the car park at Heathrow, and she was in front, and I was with Nikki Forster, and Nikki went, and how are we going to get back to Brighton? Car's not starting.
Shouting out. Did she bite?
No, she had a smile. A tiny little thing she was, but back in the days where, the work hadn't started.
So you know where that's from?
Yes.
Steve from Wimbledon.
Yeah, and Steve jumps on, and I walk up. So I get off at platform 5, walk across platform 4, and I can almost guarantee if I somewhere he'll be there.
He's waiting for you.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Lads, been great fun. Look, I'm just going to ask just final question now ahead of the weekend. It would be great to see just lots of people here. I mean, on that sort of buzz, that kind of momentum, and that feel-good factor that we've got ahead of what will be a really difficult game against Rotherham.
Yeah, but I think the fans are slowly coming back. I've got that feeling that they feel confident in the manager, confident in the squad, and the board. I think they've not come in and said we're going to be in the Premier League in 3-4 years and we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I think they're in for the long term. The people that own the club are in for the long term, and they know it ain't going to be an easy fix. We've been out of the bigger leagues for so long now that the jump is going to be big. But I think slowly but surely they're getting it right. Okay, great stuff. Again, that has absolutely flown by, hasn't it? Look, if you're local, please try and get to the game tomorrow. If you're internationally based, you can join Brownie, Terry Smith and Greg Stubley for live coverage of the game on Charlton TV. We'll be back next month, and in the meantime, fingers crossed for some more clean sheets and we stay in the top 6. Bye for now.